it's Maury, and I'm back at my art journal finally. And so today I'm working in a Strathmore mixed media art journal. And what you see me doing there is I'm just taking a Pigma calligrapher pen and I am drawing some squiggly lines as a frame around the outer edge of my paper. And I'm just going to work within that space. I have primed my paper with some gesso, and what I do with my art journal is I typically will prime a whole bunch of pages. I'll prime two, let those dry, prime another two, and so on, so that when I'm ready to get down to work in my art journal, I have some papers all ready to go. So I'm just taking my outliner, which is my Inktense pencil outliner by Derwent, and I'm just drawing out here just a flower. I have no idea what kind of flower this is. And now I'm just going back to that Pigma calligrapher pen, and I'm just making squiggly lines around the drawing that I did. And I'm just, sketching in some leaves down at the base of the flower. And I'm just showing you there my Inktense pencils. I love them. I'm really in love with these pencils. And I have to tell you, the best times in my craft room are when I'm working with my art supplies. And what I'm doing here is I'm just writing down for you some of the colors that I used. And I don't necessarily use all of them, but this is a kind of the color family that I thought that I would work with for watercoloring my flower for the petals. And then I just use a couple of different colors of green for the leaves. The nice thing about having the large set of the Inktense pencils is that you have lots of different colors that you can pick from. So now I'm just taking some of those colors and I'm just going to color in some of the colors onto the flower. And you know what? I'm just grabbing whatever and putting it down. I'm trying to get the center part of the flower a little darker. But to be honest with you, once I put the colors down, I just move them around and you know, I just make them look just how I want them to look. It's not necessarily the right way. It's just the way that I like it. And that's how I roll. So that's what I did. Now I'm just going to try to define that center of the flower a little bit again. And I'll just continue this process as I go along here. So I'm getting some green on those leaves and on the stem of the flower as well. And I just want to give a shout out right now to Ceecee from Ceeceecreations, and I'm going to leave a link to her website below. Make sure you check her out. She's a fellow Canadian. She's from Quebec, and she is amazing. And she has so much free content on YouTube to teach you all these different techniques. These are techniques that I learned from her. She is so awesome. I love her channel. Is one of my favorites for sure. So you just saw me there showing you those neo colors. I use them on my palette. You just see me scribble them into the palette, add a bunch of water to them, and there you have a really nice wash that you can use. And Ceecee created a very, very similar page in her journal, and I'm not exactly sure what product she used for her background, but this is what I had, and I love the Neo colors. They are so awesome. Neo colors are by Karen Dash. They're a Swiss product, and they're a pastel water crayon, and they're super, super great to work with in your art journal. So I'm just putting down lots of water there with that, and just because I obviously want it to be just a really washy look, and I'm trying to stay within the confines of that frame there. And so I'm just going to work around. Now I'm just going to dry up some of those pools, and I love the way this looks. It just dries really it looks really cool. I love it. I like how this turned out. And just going to dry that up with my heat tool before I activate the colors of the Inktense. Now on the petals. Now this product Inktense dries permanent, so you have a little bit of open time to work with it even when it is dry. But for the most part, when it's dry, it's not going to move again, which is I feel a fantastic quality of this product. I love that. So now I'm gonna just spritz. I have a pretty wet brush, but I'm going to also spritz water on as I'm moving those colors around. And you can just see that they just blend so beautifully. And you can see that the different colors of the pencils can still be seen. Like you can see that yellow color is a bit of a highlight and so on. And I just love the way that that looked. Now I'm just going to dip it up a little bit, and then off camera I'm just going to add a little bit more color in to some basically to that center area. And there's just a little transition here, and now you can see that I've just darkened it up just a tiny little bit. Now I'm going to go back to my calligrapher pen, and I'm just going to add some more doodly squiggly lines around the flower and some details to the petals and the leaves, which I've activated the Inktense pencils on those leaves. And I'm just going to just add a little bit of detail in. So now I'm just taking some heavy body acrylic paints in white and black. I think I'm using Liquitex and Dina Wakley here. And I'm just going to add some little details to the center part of that flower, just some little dots. And I really wanted the center part of the flower to have a lot of texture. So I put the little dots in the center there quite heavy. So I'm just going to add some squiggly little doodles to some veins on those petals. And what am I going to do next? Oh yeah, I'm just going to make those white dots even more prominent there in the center part, so that they do that. Just when you look at it, that it really has a nice texture to it. I put a lot of white paint on there. So I'm just going to take my same calligrapher pen. I'm going to add a quote on here from Ernest Hemingway, which is about, gotta have some fun in life. And I totally agree with that. And my art journal is a lot of fun for me. So I thought that was a really appropriate quote. I'm going to just sign this, and I'm going to add some splatters in black and also in white with my Sharpie paint pen. And I kind of thought maybe I would add a little bit of white to the border, but I did that in a couple places and it doesn't really show up. So I just gave up the ghost on that one, and I didn't attempt to add any more other than in a couple of spots. So I hope you enjoyed this today. I'm going to be doing some more art journaling, maybe even today. We'll see how the day goes. And I just having a lot of fun with this new art journal, this Strathmore, which I started mostly because I wanted to do some watercolors, and this medium just works really, really well on this paper. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed the process, and I'll see you next time. Have an amazing day. Bye.